long I'll be around. Got a lot of people gunning for me, don't I, huh?
Chris Reason reporting there, thank you. Meantime, the US has revealed a core motivation for their strikes on Iran was a 2024 plot to assassinate Donald Trump. The US Secretary of War today saying the Iranian group behind the conspiracy has been killed. Rob Scott has the latest from Washington.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the leader of a covert Iranian unit behind an alleged 2024 plot to assassinate Donald Trump has been killed in US strikes. He didn't elaborate, but said those plans to kill the president were part of the reason the US decided to launch Operation Epic Fury.
Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh.
The Secretary, along with the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, revealing the United States and Israel will soon have complete control of Iran's airspace, previewing a new bombing wave soon to be unleashed on the country.
Death and destruction from the sky, all day long.
Back now with breaking news unfolding right now in downtown Brooklyn. Asif Merchant was just found guilty for his role in a plot to assassinate President Trump during the 2024 presidential campaign. The jury, moments ago, returning the verdict just a couple of hours ago, actually getting the case today. Now, Merchant faces a potential life sentence.
Yeah, Nikita Kassup sat in court today wearing an orange jail T-shirt. As you mentioned, he did speak at his sentencing. He offered an apology for killing not only his stepfather, but his own mother. The decomposed bodies of Donald Mayer and his wife, Tatiana Kassup, were found inside their Village of Waukesha home in February of last year. Prosecutors say Kassup shot Mayer execution style and ambushed his mother, shooting her 3 times. Kassup stayed in the family home with the bodies for nearly 2 weeks before going on the run. He stole a car, jewelry, and cash from the house. Prosecutors say it was to pay for a drone and explosives to assassinate President Trump. Prosecutors say it was to pay for a drone and explosives to assassinate President Trump.
A chilling warning has emerged from Iran's leadership. In a message that quickly spread across social media and global news outlets, a top Iranian official issued a direct warning to U.S. President Donald Trump. The message was blunt: be careful not to get eliminated yourself.
I don't know how long I'll be around.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's March 11th, 2026, and I'm in a very warm location right now, but whatever. All of a sudden, the mainstream media is talking about Donald Trump being assassinated. Now, we've spoken about this before, so I guess I'm just going to get right into it, shall we? So right now there's a huge rumor going around that Benjamin Netanyahu is dead. I don't think that's the case, but if it is, it doesn't really make any difference because that's not going to justify what has to happen. If Netanyahu was somehow careless enough to believe that Iran, backed up by China's technology, didn't have the capability to do what it is they're doing, they wouldn't have censored their own citizens saying it's illegal to videotape anything that's been bombed by Iran and posted online. That's cool. That's cool. All right. No big deal. But lots of people are saying that Benjamin Netanyahu is dead. Well, that's not my concern because if Netanyahu goes down, someone else will pop up right behind him just as bad. No big deal. Keep the show moving. What I'm concerned about is how badly the war is going for Trump and Hegseth. You know, Mr. President, how's the war? It's done. It's nearly complete. We're good to go. It's all set. We got what we wanted. There you go. Secretary of War, Hegseth, how's the war going? We're just getting started. But the guy standing next to you just said the exact opposite. Well, yeah, what he said. Wait a minute. It makes no sense because it makes no sense because it makes no sense whatsoever at all. So there's a lot of rumors going around that our favorite person, Donald J. Trump, you know, the guy that sold himself to the Israelis so that he could have the legacy of being the new savior, the forerunner. It's funny, I drive a forerunner. The forerunner of their Mashiach. Well, let's look at this real quick, because this is in 3 days. Let's look at this just to start with. How's that?
Donald Trump will die on March 14th, 2026, and The Simpsons already predicted it. In a controversial episode of The Simpsons, one that many tried to hide, there's a shocking scene clearly shown next to a terrifying headline, Donald Trump found dead. And it doesn't stop there. In the episode, Trump is shown inside a luxurious room, surrounded by secret documents, nervously talking on the phone when suddenly he collapses. The clock on the wall stops exactly at 7 a.m. The creepiest part, just seconds before, the camera focuses on a newspaper lying on the floor with the phrase, someone very powerful will be silenced. A strange shadow appears, reflected in the glass just moments before it all happens. Who is it? This episode was never officially aired. It briefly circulated online and then mysteriously disappeared. But here's what makes it even stranger. The date shown in the episode was blurred out. Only a few frames reveal something chilling. Fans who slowed it down claim there was a hidden message in the background. A coded warning no one noticed before. Why was the episode removed so quickly? Who didn't want it to be?
Well, that's a fun video, okay? March 14th, 3 days from now, 7 a.m., 2026. The only issue with that is I've posted that before, because that's not 2026. That's just somebody changing the date to suit their timing. And that video, that episode never actually ran, if it's even real whatsoever at all. But somebody put it out there, and I believe they put it out there previous to AI. So that's kind of a weird thing. But here's the fun thing. I firmly believe that Trump will be the last president, period. I told you when Biden was in office, he would be the last, elected president, that Trump would be the last president, and here we are. And there's so many things to back that up, you know what I'm saying? But the war is going so poorly right now, in the Biden administration, left wing, right wing, same exact bird. So, Biden does things wrong. Trump says, I'll fix them all. But then he does the exact opposite. He hasn't done one single thing that he said he was going to do whatsoever at all. And as a matter of fact, getting illegals out of the country, he's done a worse job than Obama did. So he's not doing anything. But here's the fun part. The war is going so poorly, so unpopularly, that we've got video of senators and security attacking Marines in the halls of Congress and breaking the kid's hand. I showed you that the other night.
And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
Just a reminder to all our
Commandant,
witnesses,
please stand up as a Marine.
the Capitol Police will escort any protesters out of the hearing room.
Out. No one
We ask for
wants
calm
to
in
fight
these hearings.
for Israel.
His hand, his hand. Oh, his hand.
The war is going so unpopularly that they could do a false flag where Iran, Mossad, attacks the banking system. Iran, Mossad, attacks the electrical grid. Iran, Mossad, pretends or kills Donald Trump because they've already got what they wanted. And that would be their justification for going full-blown into Iran, because soldiers don't want to go. And they're going to put boots on the ground. I already know this for a fact. I don't know if you've caught on or not, but being in the military and being a YouTuber, I've got tons of subscribers that are active duty in all branches of the military, as well as the Department of Defense, which is kind of weird, but, not my fault. They could pretend to do a false flag attack, a large explosion, in American City, or staging the killing of Donald Trump. But staging the killing of Donald Trump wouldn't really make much sense. You know what I'm saying? It really wouldn't make much sense, because he needs to carry the football the entire way, and Trump is too big of an egomaniac to let somebody else take the credit. He's the forerunner. So recently I've been getting a bunch of emails, meaning today, all of a sudden out of the blue, saying that Trump was shot with a DARPA bullet that can graze you because they can turn. Those bullets don't exist. That's called propaganda. Okay? Propaganda. If we had those bullets, we'd use those bullets. We don't have those bullets. They don't make any sense in real life. For instance, I'm standing right next to a shooting range, right this second. I could throw my mouse over there if I was so inclined, but then I wouldn't have a mouse, so that would suck. Donald Trump's ear was pierced with an awl, which is why before he stood up, he said, "I need my shoes back on." In order to get knocked out of his shoes, because Trump simply took a bag with blood in it and went like that and hit the deck instantly. And then when he got up, he said, "I need my shoes." That was a ritual. They pierced his right ear with an awl for all the world to see, called it a shooting, but the people in the know knew what it was.
The current non-Jewish Messiah was chosen to be of service to the Jewish people and the Jewish Messiah. President Trump's right ear was grazed in a symbolic gesture of Exodus 21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one, just like Cyrus the Great almost 2,400 years ago. We have clarified in several videos that the absolute deadline for the redemption is by the end of the Jewish year 5787, which corresponds to October 2nd, 2027. Thus, the redemption will surely occur during Donald Trump's tenure. And I have good reason to believe Donald Trump was chosen to be the one to redeem the sins of Esav through offering his assistance in rebuilding the Holy Temple on the Temple Mount and establishing the Jewish kingdom over all of mankind in Jerusalem. Perhaps it is no accident that the numeric value of Donald Trump in Hebrew is the same as Messiah, son of David, Mashiach ben David, 424. However, Donald Trump is mistaken if he thinks he was chosen to make America great again. But America will never become a great country on its own, because Esav's days are numbered. All our elite institutions and centers of power and influence are rotten through and through. The majority of Americans under 30 who are college educated and who are the future leaders of America support the vicious monsters of Hamas rather than the holy and courageous soldiers of the IDF. No human being, even Donald Trump, can reverse this. No, the greatness of America does not lie in its own success. America will be great when the Messiah comes, and the leader of this country, on behalf of all the good people in this country, will humbly present himself to the Jewish Messiah and ask him to accept the United States of America into a new alliance of countries who accept the leadership of the Messiah. A new United Nations will replace the current cesspool that goes by that fraudulent name. A real United Nations, united to serve God, led by the Messiah and based in Jerusalem. And my feeling is that the United States under President Trump will be the first nation.
They also put blood on his thumb and on his right toe. That's why he needed his shoes again. In order to get knocked out of his shoes, they would have had to straight up tackle him. Boom! And they didn't. It would also explain why they made sure there was a photographer. The CIA, the Secret Service, put the photographer right in the way. I don't even think any of those Secret Service were actually active duty Secret Service. I think they were all actors. But yeah, there was no magic bullet that just went by his ear and sliced it. It doesn't work like that. Not even the best sniper in the world can take a shot from that distance and guarantee he's not going to hit the head. You can't. You just can't. How do I know? Fort Benning, Georgia, sniper school, 2015 vision. You see? Yeah, I know things. I just don't talk about them. At any rate, they could pretend to kill Trump, but I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. He's too much of an egomaniac. He needs to be there. But they will do something, and they're going to do it soon because they need everyone's support, and they don't have it. They don't have it whatsoever at all. Now, I'm talking to you guys. The subscribers that I went and met face to face, and I told you months ago, 7 months ago, that the military was already splitting. They were not digging all this activity with Israel, so forth and so on. And now they're telling us we got to go to war for them. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. But here's the fun part. You need a divided military in order to have civil war. I've been telling you that for a couple of years. Is the timing off on civil war? Hell yeah. You know why? I make videos. They watch these videos, period. How do I know they watch these videos? I don't know. Look at this real quick. This is an email I received from the ADL, Anti-Defamation League. And they said, Richie, as a new member of the community, we want to hear from you. Your voice and your and the priorities you believe ADL should be pursuing matter deeply. Jonathan Greenblatt. Now, I don't know how you join the ADL or anything like that, but this was my answer. Here we go. Stand by. I answered them twice because I sent them a very fresh email, but apparently they didn't get it. I said, I am not a member. I've been exposing Israel for the golem it is since Trump's first presidency. I believe you're aware of that, and this is supposed to be a thinly veiled threat. Not all Goyim are blind. Those that claim to be Jews but are not isn't in the Bible numerous times for no reason. This email from the ADL popped up right after I did that video with the simulated Leviathan, who coincidentally enough Googled his name and found out that one country was suddenly interested in his name. Same day, same time, him, me, and him. Thinly veiled threat. I haven't Googled my own name to see who's searching for me because I necessarily don't care. But that coming straight to my email, that's crazy. Now, the reason I was out in the desert, the reason I left Florida and went straight to the desert is because I had the opportunity to take video of the TR-3B and TR-4 at a specific area at a specific time, which is why I was in Texas at the Mexico line. Remember I pointed and said, that's Mexico? Well, we got out to the location and we were intercepted by authorities. They weren't Border Patrol. You know what I mean? They weren't state police. I don't know who they were, but they took our SIM cards and sent us on our way. So I didn't get any footage, which really sucked because I spent a lot of time, energy, and effort driving all the way out there to try to get this, because I thought getting actual video proof instead of people that are just putting up videos about lights in the sky. The easiest and most easily misconstrued activity you're ever going to see in the sky are lights. It can be done in so very many ways, and people are making big video deals out of it like it's when it shows up, you'll know. You'll see it. No two ways about it. So that's my 2 cents. And on that note, while you still get time, get your money out of the bank right now and turn it into gold and silver. Let them take your 401k or your IRA, take it out of the bank and turn it into the same amount in gold and silver that you can actually hold in your hand. Because when they do the banks in, because they're going to, they're doing a plan right now. I don't know if you caught on yet, but this is bad. This is really bad. They're actually doing this, no problem, because apparently their deadline is April of 2027 in our calendar. So this is all coming really quick, and they're not going to stop. You can already see that. They're not even trying to pretend there's any reason why we just started attacking Iran. They just left on their website, whitehouse.gov, June 2025, that we just decimated Iran's nuclear capabilities, and anyone saying different is fake news. And then they just said we had to go to attack Iran because their nuclear capabilities. And now we're going to send in boots on the ground to get those nuclear capabilities. Weapons of mass destruction. Let me remind you of something. This was our national debt on September 1st, 2001. $5.8 trillion. $5.8 trillion. And our national debt right this minute is $39 trillion. $39 trillion. I just checked this morning. It was only at 38. Apparently, we needed to give more money to Israel, I'm guessing. You see what I mean? And here's the fun thing. Israel has free education. Israel has free health care. And you pay for it. And out of those taxes they take out of you, you don't get free health care. You know what I mean? You don't get free education. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. Going to get health care in America right now, as an American, you'll probably end up dead. Because they won't cure whatever's wrong with you. They'll give you something to actually make the disease even worse. Or they'll just give you the disease. Do you see what I'm saying? People need to be outraged right now, and people need to be ready. I'm telling you to be ready. I'm where I need to be right now for whatever might happen. But whatever's going to happen is going to happen soon, because it has to. It has to happen soon. Okay? Is Netanyahu dead? I don't care. Is Donald Trump dead? Nah. They're talking about an awful lot of things recently, like people that tried to kill Trump prior. So before I wrap this up, I just want you to see what Iran actually looks like. The real Iran, before we went in and just decided to bomb the stuffing out of it. And a lot of people are using the analogy, wag the dog. Yeah, this is actually real. Wag the dog was completely fabricated. This is actually real, okay? We are bombing another country is bombing another country, and another country is bombing a country, and another country is bombing all the countries around it, because that's what happens when you get attacked. You reach out to the closest proxy of whoever is bombing you, and that's what they're doing. Iran has every right in the world to do this, in my opinion. And if you're a soldier and you've got valid info, rjcjr10@yahoo.com. Send it, and I'll run it.
You know that feeling when you realize everything you thought you knew about a place was completely wrong? Picture this. You're on a rooftop in Isfahan, watching the sun set over a city that's older than London, older than Paris, older than almost anywhere you can think of in Europe. You're looking at architecture so intricate, so mathematically perfect, that it makes you wonder why we ever stopped building like this. This is Iran. Not the Iran you see in the news, the Iran of ancient Persia, of poetry and gardens, of engineering so advanced that civilizations are still trying to figure out how they did it. This is a country where ancient engineers carved homes into cliffs, and people still live in them today. They built cities in deserts so extreme, NASA now uses them to test equipment for Mars. So forget everything you think you know. Iran might just be the most misunderstood country on Earth. Because sometimes the most beautiful stories are hidden in the places we're told not to look.
I'll leave links if you're interested in watching the rest of that video, but if you want to know what's going on in the world, you probably might want to find out what's really going on in the world. Because the mainstream media does nothing but lie or propagate lies that are going to come back and be used as, well, we told you on the news there was crazy people trying to kill Donald Trump, etc. We told you on the news that we had to bomb Iran because they've got nuclear weapons, even though we just bombed them because they have nuclear weapons. Even though the only country to sign a non-proliferation treaty was Iran. Both countries, America and Israel, allegedly have nuclear weapons. I'm sure instead of using nukes, which I don't believe are real in any way whatsoever at all, they're going to break out some of the stuff we've never seen before and call it a nuclear weapon. Because we've got bombs. We've got real big bombs. We've got really big bombs that do really bad things. We made Nagasaki and Hiroshima look like they were nuked, but it only lasted a few months, way back in the 40s. Just imagine what they can do now. As a matter of fact, we don't have to imagine because we've seen them use it and call it weather events in the United States. Richie from Boston. Don't believe the hype. Be ready. Be ready. They have to do this. I'm out.